Of course, the Egyptian-French coordination is highly significant as it is very symbolic, as well as Egypt leads the Egyptian efforts to support the Palestinian people and to end the Israeli hostilities in Gaza, and also working to provide a humanitarian aid flow. France is a major significant European state representing the European Union and the international community, as well as the world conscience, and it is supporting Egypt now, working towards providing humanitarian aid and breaking the siege and transferring the injured to receive the proper medical treatment in Egypt. It is a message to the United States of America to carry out its role to pressure Israel to cease the hostilities and open the border crossings, and also looking for a solution for the Palestinian cause. It is also a message to the European Union states to follow the French example working in this regard. Egypt is exerting a lot of efforts in relation to this specific cause, given the historic relations and the ties linking Egypt and Palestine, as Egypt has borne the biggest part of entering the humanitarian aid. We will still bear this responsibility, and Egypt also stands to reject any attempt to displace the Gazan population, and we also welcome any horizons to cease the hostilities and to resume the negotiations.
Mr. Abu El-Houl, how has Egypt mobilized its medical and humanitarian infrastructure in northern Sinai to support those affected by the war in Gaza?
Well, Egypt gave the priority to our people in Gaza, especially in the health sector and treating the injured. Egypt has allocated hundreds of ambulances in northern Sinai, as well as complete hospitals in Cairo, and other governorates across Egypt stand ready to provide any assistance needed by our people in Gaza. And as I have stated, the strong ties between the Egyptian people and the Palestinian people necessitate our readiness to provide all means of assistance possible, whether on the humanitarian or physical levels.
Well, both leaders strongly rejected the forced displacement of Palestinians. How does this position align with the international law, and what practical steps can Egypt and France take to ensure it is respected?
Well, Egypt and France already stressed during the trilateral summit that included also the King of Jordan, Abdullah II, stressed their rejection to the displacement scheme and relocating the Gaza population, which completely violates the international law. The international law rejects the relocation of any population forcibly. Egypt has had a very important role in this regard, as the United States proposed the displacement of the Gaza population into Egypt and Jordan, which was completely rejected by Egypt, and Egypt provided a counter plan for the Gaza reconstruction without the relocation of the Gaza population, as the US talked about turning Gaza into the Riviera of the Middle East, which was completely rejected by Egypt and also rejected by the international law. Egypt has worked to provide a counter plan for the reconstruction with all the details covered, which will cover a period, a smaller period. Egypt stands with this initiative and is mobilizing the support of different states from around the world, including France. The United States has not approved this plan yet.
Mhm. So, how do you interpret the symbolism of the banners and chants displayed by the crowds earlier today, particularly the messages of solidarity with the Palestinian people and the rejection of the idea of displacement?
It is very natural. The Egyptian people is strongly connected with the Palestinian people, with historic ties and language and religion ties, and Egypt has always supported Palestine, and we are now bearing the responsibility to support the survival of the Palestinian cause and the Palestinian people. We know that the rockets launched by the Houthis towards Israel only led to the closure of the Suez Canal, which costed Egypt over $8 billion. Egypt also bore the responsibility of entering the humanitarian aid access and provided most of the humanitarian supplies that already entered. Egyptians actually consider this an inevitable mission to carry out. They see it as a duty, a national duty towards Palestine, and therefore the signs raised today and the slogans we have seen sentences that express that the unwavering Egyptian position towards the Palestinian cause, rejecting the displacement.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Abu El-Houl, what are the next steps that should be following this high-profile summit, and can this high-profile summit actually influence the ceasefire negotiations?
Of course, this summit is highly symbolic as it reflects the Egyptian-French efforts and its continuing support for the Palestinian people, looking for a peaceful solution for the Israeli-Arab conflict. France, being one of the most major states in the European Union, will continue to urge the European states to pressure Israel into ending the hostilities, and will have a dialogue with the United States to give up their extremist thoughts regarding the displacement of Palestinians, and also regarding the necessity of a permanent and just solution for the Palestinian cause. Egypt, for example, is still communicating with different players around the world, including Palestinians, Europe, or international other actors, to enter the humanitarian aid and starting the reconstruction process, and most important of which is giving the Palestinians their inalienable rights.
Mm-hmm.